You are now watching Zach Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' peeps? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. Yo, today we are going to be covering over the top 8 decks from the most recent Late Night Series event. I'm a little bit late on it this week, but I had to take some time for some rest and relaxation. As a content creator, I've been pushing myself to the absolute ground, to my limits, and I just needed a break. So thank you everyone for kind of giving me some time to vibe out. I'm back and better than ever. That being said, give this video a like if you love my content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What are you doing if you haven't subscribed to the channel already? And let me know in the comments below what your favorite deck is. Let's spark a discussion. There's a lot of cool things going on in this video. I don't want to waste anyone's time, so let's jump right into it. So for this event, there was over 200 players, and you can see that there's a lot of variety. But we're going to be covering over the top 8 deck lists. So let's start off with number 8, Haughty. Haughty being a fellow Canadian as well, so shout out to Canada, word up. They were playing Shadow Rider. It seems like that's really their deck that they always see success with. Now, looking at this list, I like that there's a double split when it comes to the Shadow Rider, like the 2-2 Shadow Rider. I think that's pretty healthy against Zombicenta V. I do like that it's going for a traditional Alcremie version, the Cresselia. I'm not sure how I feel about Galarian Articuno, but it's also pretty good. I go back and forth on how I like that card in this particular list. They do play 13 energies. I mean, overall, for a Shadow Rider list, I don't know if you're going to be getting much better than this, so shout out to them for this busted list. I think it's just really good, so let's see if we find anything else interesting. We have Peter L. playing Jolteon VMAX. Now, when it comes to Jolteon VMAX, I think 4-3 seems fine. When it comes to the Jolteon VMAX, 4-4-2-1 line seems great. I'm not sure how I feel about double Zigzagoon. I think double Zigzagoon's fine. I'd probably get away with one since you don't want to start with it. And I'd probably just play an extra Scoop Up Net. 4 copies of Marnie, 3... I mean, the supporter line seems fine. Adding an extra Cheryl could be cool. I go back and forth if I ever like 1 or 2 copies of that card, but overall I think it's pretty cool. Echoing Horn is interesting. You can search it out and maybe get that extra prize card. So I'm sure there's got to be some exciting plays when it comes down to it. Overall, this list looks pretty solid. I mean, a lot of the players who are going to be playing in these lists, or playing in these tournaments and making it this far are going to have solid lists. But we'll see exactly what's going on. Jumping in, we have Rod Figueredo 8-8. So let's see what they got going on here. So 4-3 Dragapult VMAX, 4-4-3. I do not like that there's no Shady Dealings Inteleon. I think it's really worthwhile to play at least 1 copy. Otherwise, the list looks kind of good. 1 Quick Ball's probably too little. When it comes down to it, I think that's really where I see it, where it's just like the space could have been utilized a little bit better. I'd rather see more copies of Quick Ball than some other things in this deck. So I would just probably change a few counts, but overall it looks like a pretty solid list. I mean, so far so good. I mean, I don't have any too many big issues when it comes to it. We got Edmund Q that's playing their Single Strike list. Single Strike's a hot topic of discussion. A lot of players are playing the 1-1 splits, 1 Single Strike VMAX, 1 Ordinary Rod. So I go back and forth on how I feel about that. Overall, I think the baseline of Pokemon is great. I think everything looks good here. Whereas I play Great Ball in my list, they decide to play extra consistency card copies. So I really don't have an issue at all with this list. I think this is just what a standard Single Strike list looks like. Single Strike's been popping off recently, so it's one of those things where they have a standard list. They did very well. This is a solid list. I like Great Ball on the list, but that's really my thing. Okay, we're moving on to top 4. Evan Campbell. Evan Campbell's a name that I know. So we'll see what their list looks like for the Suicune Ludicolo. 4-4-2-1 Inteleon. I think that's the correct line. Playing 4 copies of Suicune, that's also correct. 2-1-2 with Ludicolo. I also think that's correct. I like the 3 Melanie, 1 Raihan. So far, so good. This list looks absolutely busted. I actually don't think there's any changes I'd make. This just seems like the ideal list when it comes to Suicune Ludicolo. So that's one thing that you might want to know. You may be like, yo, how did this list just get perfect or perfected? I think we all took Gabriel Samato's list once they won Chill. We saw access to what a perfect list looked like. The community tried to change it, didn't do as well. This is where the list is at. I think this is the best way to be playing this deck. So if you are playing this deck, this is a busted way to play this deck. We are moving on to Cole Lewis's deck. Now, Cole is known for playing some pretty wacky decks at my tournaments. And yeah, we'll see how their Sylveon list looks. I think 3-3 Sylveon seems fine. 4th Sylveon might not be bad. I go back and forth on how I like adding cards into this deck. For the sake of it, I think 3-3 is fine, or even 3-2 is fine. 2-2 Rapid Strike is great. I think Rapid Strike's just really important in this deck to be playing. I like Blaziken in this deck, but I think it could probably get away with a 2-1 line of Blaziken, especially as Zacian kind of dwindles a little bit. 2-2 Octillery seems like a must. Now, the Ray just seems like a Rapid Strike Pokemon that's searchable by Octillery that allows you to pitch your hand. I don't think it's necessarily worthwhile. I'd almost rather that space go to other things. Orangaru's cool, and Crobat's cool, and Eldegoss is cool. There's definitely some cool things about this list, but I don't know exactly how I feel about it. The Ray is like probably the weirdest circumstance. Like, it's not attacking. It is literally only being used for its Azure Pulse ability. So we got the 4-3-3 Marnie Boss, Research, Karina. I like double Karina in this deck. I think too many players are getting away with only one Karina. I like 2 Karinas in this deck. Overall, the list looks well constructed. I don't have any problems with it at all. It's one of those things where it just looks good, and I have no problems with it. It's Ray's a little bit weird, but I think Sylveon lists play weird things. Kaiser Scorch played Crushing Hammers, right? Like, those spaces could have been a lot of different things. So let's move on to our finalist list of Gumi47 playing Dragapult. So this is Dragapult without Crushing Hammer, any kind of disruption. I think Dragapult's really good because it plays disruption, whether it's Fan of Waves, Team Yell Grunt, Crushing Hammer. I'd like to see that in the list. When it comes down to they are playing the correct count of Quick Shooting, Inteleon, stuff like that. So it looks like they've used those extra spots for an extra Raihan. Don't know if extra Raihan's necessary in this deck. Beyond that, I mean, I think the rest of the list looks fine. It's probably like close to a really good list if you did not need to be playing Crushing Hammers. So I like playing the disruption cards when it comes to playing this deck. And let's look at our finalists. The MC or 7MC playing Sableye. So this really kicked off the week because Josh Sutherland was able to make finals with the same deck just a few days later. So let's see exactly what it looks like. So there's the 4-4-3-1 Inteleon. I think that's fine. I'd like to be seeing a bigger Galarian Weezing line personally in this deck. I think Galarian Weezing is very important. Beyond that, I think the double Sableye Moltres with the Ordinary Rod is cool. I go back and forth on how I feel about this deck entirety. Like, it's one of those things where this deck spiked my event, spiked the Chill event, and did nothing else. So it's either very difficult to play or it's just not consistent, and there's no in between. So I think it's like difficult and inconsistent, which is typically a bad mix of a deck. I mean, it's a cool deck when it works, and the finals video is up, so totally check that out. Beyond that, I mean, I think the list is constructed as well as possibly you could. Like, it's constructed well. And I think that's really what matters. Again, I'd like to see a thicker Galarian Weezing line, but that's just my personal playing style. Anytime I play this deck, I can't get it to set up the way that I want it to set up. So that's what we got going on for these decks. Shout out to every single player who's playing them. I know it's a little bit of a quick rundown, but a lot of these decks are pretty common, and I've explained them before in other videos, so be sure to check out every video for all of these decks. I've literally covered all these decks on the channel before, so check that out. And that's what we got going on for this video today, peeps. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing what these top 8 decks were. I know these videos are a little bit quick, but I just try to kind of update everyone whenever possible to let them know exactly what's going on with these decks. I love making videos for the community, and all the support lately has been awesome. We're almost at 6,250 subs, so if you want to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that'd be super helpful. Again, I really appreciate all the love lately. Makes my job a lot easier. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll catch up with all y'all later. Have yourself a great one. Peace out. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's become a channel member. It's one of those things where I appreciate every single person who watches my videos, and I mean, that's really where it counts, but for the channel members, they've gone out of their way to financially support me, and I truly appreciate that gesture. It's one of those things when I started channel memberships up on my channel, and I just didn't know if anyone was ever going to do it, so I truly appreciate everyone taking the plunge, taking a leap of trust, and investing in me as a content creator. Truly makes a difference for me each and every month. If you haven't already thought about becoming a channel member, you might want to contribute to the channel, and I do put everything back into the channel to make it the best possible place to watch for Pokemon TCG content. Again, I truly appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Cheers. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.